What's up, my gorgeous souls? This is Breaking the Cage. It is for April 21st through the 27th. Breaking the Cage and Astrology TV. There's a lot going on this week, and everything about it happens to do with we're entering Taurus season. And I mean, we have the full moon, Scorpio, on the sorry, blinked out for a second. But everything about this week really is coming down to Jupiter and Uranus. And its conjunction coming together in Taurus. Now, before I get into any of that, I'm going to start going over some of the stuff that Spirit gave me. But the best way of me putting it is I will use my own self. This has been a rough day for me, guys. I was saying when Jupiter and Uranus come together in Taurus, you're looking at self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, because that's Uranus speaking to you about your freedom, your individuality, your uniqueness, and bringing that out into the world. But Uranus is not exactly in its strongest place here. And Jupiter is abundance, it is manifestation, it is higher knowledge. And Taurus itself is the second house. It is possessions, it is money, it is your movable property, such as, well, for some people that could also be your home, but it's possessions such as your homes, if you own boats, your cars, banks, money. Then movable possessions like your cell phone and glasses, things that you need that help you be the best you, that help you step into the character of you. Like, we all have our phones, but certain people need their crystals and so forth. But I was saying, as this conjunction comes together, it is definitely going to be speaking to us on our indestructible finding of our soul selves. And how much does that waver? How firm are you in your inner emotional security? Because this energy is definitely on shaky ground. Like I said, Uranus is not strong here. I've had a rough day because I woke up this morning as they conjuncted. Well, they're conjuncting truthfully at the exact right time, right? I think it's 21 degrees, 0.50. They come together, or they come together at 51 at like 11 o'clock tonight. When I'm making this video. But they're already in the same degree. They're just not at that last point, matching yet. And this morning I wake up to being told that somebody has bashed out the window of my car. And sometimes you just have to laugh at this. I'm like, it fits the astrology perfectly. This is what I mean when targeted individuals do not just get hit with social media problems or on social media platforms. We're looking at, like I said, insurance, it'll be taken care of. I'm not too worried about it. It's not something I'm thrilled about, but it is what it is. But what I'm getting at is this is no joke. These two energies only come together approximately every 14 years. And with it being here in Taurus, it is getting into the comfort of your heaven or your hell. And really starting to show just how secure you are in your inner emotional security. Can you be bothered? Are you an indestructible or impenetrable fortress? How firm are you within that self-worth, self-value, self-esteem? How shaky or sturdy? How much strength and working are we doing here? Do we need, this is what I'm trying to get to you. This is really what we're looking at. The gritty, meaty center of value. Of valuing yourself, what you value, and what we're really placing outside of us as value. And like I said, Taurus is your manifestation house. It deals with your self-worth, self-value, self-esteem. It deals with where you are feeling your energy as to what is being manifested and brought to you. Uranus is asking you how shaky you are. Jupiter is giving you the abundance of the manifestation coming quick. And this is necessities of what you need in certain cases, like your car, the roof over your head, food, water. I was saying those bridges that went down just a couple weeks ago that have a lot to do with trading and bringing in products for people to buy. I mean, that's just interesting. I'll throw that out there like that. But let's get back into what else I have to say here. You have the full moon that's taking place. It's called the full pink moon on Tuesday night, and it is in Scorpio. It would have just entered Scorpio, but technically it is in Scorpio. And the full moon is all about releasing, surrendering, and letting go, bringing into the light what's no longer serving us and what we need to make the changes of. Scorpio is speaking to you about transformation. You're seeing a big piece of this transformation. I was saying at those solar eclipses that you had a lot of energy that was coming up and being shedded, but it wasn't going to end until we hit this full moon. That this is where the end of the transformation, or that portal, so to speak, will start to close. This is definitely a change. This is not just, there's been timeline jumps and everything. You've had so much energy coming at us over the last couple months. Between the Schumann resonance, the solar flares, geomagnetic storms, bam, 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 bam. We are definitely moving into a new world. And what world are we wanting to create is what we have to start really looking at. Not alone, we're also getting our DNA upgrades and da-da-da-da-da. So we are really looking at death and rebirth right now. The phone goes off like that. I mean, I can't make this shit up. Death and rebirth of who and what we are and where we're trying to take our world. We're getting in so much deeper into the raw nitty-gritty of value and self-worth and self-esteem, and really starting to dissect this. Now you have, like I said, Taurus season is values, because it's also deals with Venus in general. It's one of its rulers. And being the second house, possessions and small movable products or properties of things, your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem, abundance, manifestation, all of this is taking place in that Taurus house. And my spirit guides were saying this is a squeeze. You might want to look at it from the government perspective of squeezing on you and seeing what they can still take or what's left. My spirits also said you could call it the choke, as in trying to choke you. And a lot of this is going to have to do with money and these kind of possessions, or being able to harness and hold on to them. This isn't going to stop just with this conjunction. You're going to be feeling it over this month. But I'm giving you that part right now. It's your basic essentials you're going to be looking at. Food, water, vehicle, roof, possessions, glasses, things that help us be you. Manifestation. The question is how much do you truly know yourself? How much do you know yourself versus can you be compromised? Can you be compromised if squeezed or choked enough? Because that's the kind of energy we're looking at. This is definitely teaching us to become that impenetrable fortress. But this is a lesson of learning how to not allow our emotions to freak us out as we move forward and making us stronger. Now, another part of this is Spirit gives me is this is isness. What is? Well, what is right now. Not the future, not the past. It is right now. You have to be in your isness, all of your energy, all of who and what you are, and pull that all back to front and center right now, grounded in your isness, in your power of your isness, your all-ing of your isness, the all-knowing higher self and ego of your isness, and not allow it to be compromised. This is where we're standing firmly, even if we're shaking in our boots. But this can be a very positive energy if you're in the positive isness. If you're in your self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, you're not feeling naive, you're not feeling taken advantage of, you're not feeling pushed around, because that's your eyes and your values seeing it from a lower perspective, and how we have to not allow that to be the projected energy coming from us. It's all a mirror, remember. It's all a mirror. All we're dealing is mirroring what we're seeing and what we're part of. It's not even about jumping timelines. It's you are the consciousness. So what are you providing to the consciousness? The consciousness doesn't care if it's a low vibrational consciousness or a high vibrational consciousness. It just wants to learn and explore and devour that energy and try some more. Thank you. That's the consciousness. But are you giving your energy to the consciousness of, we're going to stay in this higher stuff. We're going to stay in this better stuff. Because, like I said, manifestation is going to be, we create our own realities. Now, like I said, there are some good energies, but before I get into it, one of the reasons why spirit guides were also telling me you could call this the squeeze or the choke during this month is because you have that Uranus and that Taurus, which is literally on a, like right here, spot of the throat in the human blueprint, in the body. That is a part of the body that is responsible for swallowing, for being able to stay moist and wet enough to breathe properly and not choke versus swallowing. This is part of it. It could be dealing with this part right here, the throat in general, and it's going all the way around the neck. So it's also dealing with the zeal point. You have the sun, which is going to be coming in, which is dealing directly with the throat and the the vocal cord. So this is all about speaking, expressing, and understanding our truth. It is our throat chakra. But it is also about breathing life into life, or choking on it and allowing our emotions to get in the way. This is also dealing with like sleep apnea and the flu-like symptoms, because you've had Aries energy was going all through the sinuses as well, and the head in general. All of this has to do with how we are projecting and viewing and looking at and calculating our creation. And then it mirrors back to us what we've created. So remember this as we're walking through this week, through this full moon, through this Mercury going direct, and into this whole Taurus season. Remember, Taurus wants the beautiful things, but it's stubborn as shit. It can be bullheaded for all the right reasons or the wrong reasons. Depends on where you're taking your reality and creation. Cancer is still on the rib, so this has everything again to do with your oxygen levels, your breathing. A lot of this is being targeted in this energy. Virgo has to do with your gallbladder at this time with Lilith. So we are looking at your sacral chakra, technically your root, sacral, and solar plexus, because it's getting into the whole gut here, and what we are releasing. What waste are we removing? Versus the way our head and our brain is thinking, our higher self is trying to help us understand. And this energy right here is connected very closely to the ears. So ears and throat energy is definitely something that you're going to be feeling. Not to mention, like I said, the rest of the planets pretty much are in the lower chakras from the hips down, which is definitely all about us overcoming lower levels of consciencelessness, where we have no conscience, where it's not even just lack of consciousness, there's no conscience. It's the ego, full-fledged ego, jealousy, inadequacy, inferiority, fear, anger, hatred, malice energies, me first, all from the hips down. Hi, my little kitty kitty. You have the moon, which is first moving through Libra, and it is questioning everything in Aries. So it is questioning everything about your character. Do you know your character? Do you identify with the world around you? What are you identifying? That is the key. Whatever you identify with is what you are allowing into your creation. If you don't want to be, you don't want to tolerate and deal, I'm not saying ignore, but if you don't want certain things in your creation of your reality, then you have to stop identifying with it and giving it energy. Because then it just feeds and comes back more. You're saying, yes, please give me some more. They just gave me the Grey Poupon commercial. May I have some more, please? Libra is all about judgment, all about balance, all about, harmony and justice, and the judgment that goes with making that correct. But we forget when we're dealing with Libra energy, and we don't pick a side. We want to create harmony and balance, and we do the best by looking outside of us and everybody else and fixing it for everybody else, but we don't do the best by putting ourselves on the right side or the left side. It doesn't matter. It's a choice. You have to make a choice. You have to choose a side as to what you want. And it's the relationship zone of speaking to us about the relationships we keep. We create harmony and balance. If you put yourself on the back burner, you'll always be on the back burner. This is about balancing who we are, our character, our identifying energy of what we identify with ourselves and what we identify with what we're trying to create in the world around us and how we see it versus what is part of the relationship it has with us. And remember, you've got Mercury, which is going to be going direct. Chiron here, the wounded healer. North Node trying to teach us how to learn how to be better us. Not better us, but how to be what we really truly are. Venus is still here. The sensitivity of really touching base with that. We come into that full moon in Scorpio. It is in a full T-square. Not getting along with the moon is not getting along with the sun, which is in Taurus. It is not getting along with Pluto. Death, decay, destruction for renewal, rebirth, regeneration in the 11th house. This is your careers. This is your political arena. This is everything that has authority outside of us, along with the fact of it being teams, committees, commitments that we have with these teams, committees, and groups out, like work friends outside. And how is that supporting our goals, our dreams, our ambitions? The outer world, its authority, its groups, its memberships, how well are they for us? What we are connected to or attaching ourselves to. Like I said, the sun here coming in as this Jupiter and Uranus is illuminating in Taurus, is really asking you just how much in possession of your own power and your own character and your own avatar are you? I was complaining earlier today after I found out about the car back window getting smashed by somebody, and And I was like, if we're always at a game of Jumanji, I want my damn life signs. I want to see, I want my life list. This shit's bullshit. This is what I'm talking about. You're having that outer world tell you exactly what it is you're creating, what you're connecting to, what you're giving power to, what groups, memberships, and friends outside of you are truly supporting you or not, how you're identifying with yourself, self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, or feeling the possession like somebody else has the possession and the power over you. Versus that 8th house. This is a chance for transformation, for rebirth, but it's a T-square. It is not going to be comfortable. There are things that are going to be shown to you. This is why I was saying with that energy, Jupiter, Uranus, the sun being here, this is definitely going to be hitting issues of, necessities, finances, money, hitting underneath the belt. Can you be shaken? Can you be shaken? Will you allow yourself to be compromised? It's a big, powerful moment. Then you have on the 25th, and the Spirit keeps pointing this one out to me because there's going to be a lot going on the 25th. The moon is still in Scorpio. Remember, when the moon is in Scorpio, it's one of those things, too. We're in our emotional waters, but I like to call Scorpio like a sexy Sherlock Holmes because it's flirty, it's sexy, it's very fire kind of energy, but at the same time, if you dig deep enough to find something wrong, you'll find something wrong, even if you created it. That's just kind of how Scorpio works. Scorpio is also like a night in Vegas. It was great last night. Today's a new day. You were looking at that moon energy, which is getting along great with that Jupiter and Uranus and that self-worth, self-value, self-esteem. That transformation, feeling secure and strong in it. But then it is also, I'm sorry, it is not getting along with Jupiter or Uranus. It is not comfortable that Scorpio moon in that energy right after we've come out of this full moon on the 25th, 2 days later, as we're going through the day, we're going to be feeling that energy of it, questioning our self-worth, our self-value, our self-esteem, questioning our possessions, questioning our money, questioning our comfort zone, our value. What are we giving value to that it holds so much of a possession in our life to our heart and soul? Then you're looking at it getting along with Mars and Neptune. Neptune is full-on illusion, delusion, magic, fantasy, smacks you in the face with harsh reality. Mars is not in its strongest place here. It is like steam. Not feeling the most secure about the transformation, but you still have to go through it. But it is strong. So this is saying you don't want to create the same. You want to make sure you're stepping into something new. You want to make sure that you're not staying in the comfort zone. I'm not saying go out and start a brand new thing, but question your comfort zone here. That's how healing is made. And then it is getting along great with Lilith, which is saying there's something in that daily routine, daily activity that can be altered. People, places, things, daily activity, daily routine, daily mundane. Something about the mundane here has to be shifted in order for us to come into that power and overcome that Jupiter and Uranus that's making us feel uncomfortable or tapping into money and possessions. As we come into Sagittarius with the moon, it is getting along great with Mercury as it's going direct. And this is giving us the chance to believe in the change. giving us the chance to speak it, believe in it, but remember it's also in shadow. So make sure you're not speaking it and believing it from a shadow aspect. Make sure you're taking the moment to truly see it for what it is. And then on the 27th, it is getting along great with the Aries energy and the Pisces energy. This is all about the end of a cycle and the birth of a new. But are we healing it? Are we seeing the changes? Are we really getting raw and deep? Because there's so many planets here that it's so much of this has to come down to, do you know who you are? Or are you still learning? And that's okay if you're learning, as long as you're actually taking heart in the learning and we're moving forward, not just keep learning the same thing, because then we're really not. You have all week long that Jupiter and Uranus is sextiling Saturn, Mars, and Neptune. And then from Mars and Neptune, it's sextiling Pluto. So this is your self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, money, manifestation, small possessions, making you feel secure in that power, and trying to help us see if we are or if we're not. And it is speaking with where the magic is of what's not healed, showing us what it is, and then taking it over to that 11th house where Pluto is. We're pulling the death out of us and showing the new us to the world. But this is saying this is the time to be doing it. Don't be shaky in that depth and soul of you. You have that Jupiter and Uranus getting along great with Lilith this week. Again, something in our mundane tasks, our daily activity, for the moment we wake up, for the moment we go to bed, our daily routines, people, places, and things, where we're going, what we're spending our time on, what we're feeding our energy to. It is an energy diet. Something here has to shift and change. Pluto this week, though, is not getting along with the sun, and it is not getting along with Venus. It is not liking. It is showing the illumination of where you're still not really to the depth of who you are. You're still not giving me something honest to mirror back about. You're still got some fear in your true self and creating this world you want. Your goals, your dreams, your ambitions, your true tribe. There's more here to chew on. Venus, security, and our emotional security, sensitivity. Both of these are taking place first, second house. Your character, identifying with yourself, self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, has a lot to do with our manifestation too. But lastly, you have that Lilith, which is not getting along with that 12th house at all. That's been going on for a month or two now. There's something in our daily routines that have to shift. Our daily diet, our daily energy diet, people, places, and things, your mundane is the most important, magnificent part of your manifestation. But we do it so repetitively, we don't give it credit for how long and how strong it is giving us the power in whatever direction it's giving us. There's something here in our daily activities that we're having to shift about. It wouldn't be in opposition of each other if it wasn't. Speaking directly to Saturn, your rules, your walls, your boundaries, Mars and Neptune. There's a magical sequence here of shifting if we're brave enough to step into that something new, not something blue. And the South Node, everything that you need to learn in order to move forward. I mean, everything that you're good at. South Node is everything you're good at, but it doesn't serve you anymore. In the relationship zone, in the dual parts, where it's joint efforts, joint resources, joint finances of transformation. where we've gotten good at it. It's showing us directly that there's a situation going on with Chiron and Mercury. The communication of that shift has to do with us being our true character, stepping out of avatar and into soul. Don't feed ego, feed the soul. That's what this whole week is about. And can you get thrown off? It's about time we start learning how to be the impenetrable fortress. We don't get pushed around like this and put through these energies unless there's a bigger reason for us to. And it's time. I love you. Bye. I thought you